Hi friends, Quill here. Welcome back to the channel and a new update for Pokemon Sword and Shield news. If you're just as excited for these new games as I am and don't want to miss any of the news coming up, make sure you hit that like button down below and subscribe to the channel. On this channel, I only report news that is in some way confirmed, either by having some factual backing or but confirmed by the Pokemon company itself. I have absolutely nothing against content creators who make videos about rumors and the like. I think those are very interesting videos to cover, but it's just not the sort of thing that I like to do myself. Now, that brings us to today, or rather yesterday, or maybe it was a couple days, I think it was yesterday. This website came out promoting a new app, a mobile app for the Pokemon Dynamax. It's, as far as I understand, only going to be released in Japan. But essentially, it lets you take pictures in the real world and import Dynamax versions of our favorite Pokemon into the background. So this is interesting for a couple of reasons. The first and probably most obvious reason is that it confirms a couple more Pokemon. Of course, I think here in the trailers, yeah, right here, we see Sudowoodo, and if you're watching my other series where I am guessing which Pokemon will and will not be in the Galar region, I believe I said that Sudowoodo wouldn't be there, so it's really cool that I was proven wrong in that respect. I like Sudowoodo, it's a cool Pokemon. But here we see this really cool app with all these really neat pictures of really awesome landscapes and then the Pokemon in the background. So then you scroll down a little bit further, you see some things. I can't read Japanese, but I'm assuming this says something along the lines of, oh, look at all these different places that you can see Dynamax Pokemon. Isn't that exciting? I think it is kind of exciting. And then we scroll down here, we see a bunch of pictures of Dynamax Pokemon in the games. This is in the game itself. And then we scroll down, we see a place where you can buy the games, a trailer for them. This video is just the original trailer for the games, and then down here, just some more information, that sort of thing. It's a really cool looking app. If they release it in the Americas, I'll be sure to check it out. Then we come over here to the Poke Community Daily, and they tell us that a new Japanese website has launched to promote a new Dynamax feature in Pokemon Sword and Shield. We knew that, we just checked it out. It says when you upload a photo, this website will add Dynamax Pokemon into the picture at random. That's really interesting, so I'll definitely be checking this out if it comes out. This has given us a few entries of new previous generation Pokemon found in the games, namely Aegislash, which is really, really good. I'm glad Aegislash made it into the game. Ribombee and Sableye. I was right about Sableye. We haven't gotten to Aegislash or Ribombee yet. However, that's not all we learned. Eagle-eyed Twitter user baby ABC Boy 101 noticed code names that exist on the new website, including for Galar, or for the next generation 8 Pokemon. They found these by uploading images and inspecting the outputted code from the website. Right, so I originally heard this news from A Drive, where I get a lot of my news actually, and the way he described it is, when I save the thumbnail for this video, I'm going to give it a name. Usually I call it thumbnail and then whatever the video is called. But here, if you look on a website and you scroll over a picture, Lucario Dynamaxed. You know, here we have Sudowoodo Dynamax. You can see on the screen, literally, that all of these pictures have files, and that's how this ABC boy was able to do it. He downloaded these pictures, looked at the file names, and the Japanese Dynamax picture site has code names for the Galar Pokemon, and am investigating. And if we go to the thread on Twitter itself, we can see here where ABC Boy has commented on his own findings. We see that Scorbunny is Usagi 1, Sobble's Chameleon 1, Grookey's Gorilla 1, Yemper is Inu 1, Roly-Poly is Sekatan 1, Wooloo is Wool 1, Corviknight is G Commodore 3. And this is where things get a little bit more interesting. Here he goes into saying that this means that Grookey might evolve into a Gorilla, Poltegeist, and Alcremie are second stages, and Corviknight is the third stage of our common bird. So if we look up here again, all of these Pokemon have a 1 after their name. All of them have a 1, except for Corviknight, who has number 3. And so what people are saying is that because there's this 3 here, Corviknight is the third stage evolution of a Pokemon. Obviously, we know that Scorbunny, Sobble, and Grookey are going to evolve. They're starters. Game Freak is trying to change some things in these new games, but they're not going to change that much. But then we look at, like, Yamper, which is Inu 1. Maybe Yamper is the first stage in an evolutionary family. Same thing goes for Roly-Poly and Wooloo, but then we get down here to Morpeko, and there is no number after its name, which leads a lot of people, including myself, to believe that Morpeko will not get an evolution, which aligns with the fact that it's a gimmick Pokemon, and aligns with the fact that it is a Pikachu clone. A lot of the Pikachu clones don't evolve and don't have any pre-evolutions. I'm thinking of Minun and Plusle, I'm thinking of Pachirisu. You get the drill. And then we see Alcremie is G Cream 2. I wonder what a pre-evolution of Alcremie would look like. I wonder if it's just like a little floof of whipped cream. I would catch that Pokemon. And then Polteageist is Teacup 2. Now this is something that I find very interesting. If I had to guess, I would probably say that Polteageist is a pre-evolution. I wouldn't expect that it has a pre-evolution. But now that I've got the idea that it has a pre-evolution, I can definitely see like a little teacup looking thing, you know, like Chip from Beauty and the Beast. As Pokemon goes, Pokemon that evolve are typically better than Pokemon that don't, so that allows for the belief that Polteageist is going to be a little bit better maybe than Morpeko, which I think is interesting, which I think is a little bit exciting because deep down I think I want Polteageist to be really good. But further down on the thread, he says that he found one more. He found Dreadnaught's Gigantamax form was named G Kame 2, and that Duraludon is that long word with no number at the end, which is very interesting. I'll come back to that. And then Gossifleur Tawada 1. So what this tells us in theory, and of course none of this is absolutely confirmed, but I wouldn't be on the channel if it didn't have at least a little bit of backing to it. And the backing here is that there are these numbers. There are numbers in Pokemon that we know to evolve, like Scorbunny, Sobble, and Grookey. And the logic does hold true that they gave code names to entire evolutionary families instead of individual Pokemon, and then just numbered them based on their position in the evolutionary family. A lot of people are saying then that Corviknight is going to be our regional bird sort of PG clone. I wasn't on board with that theory in the first place because they were seen in the overworld as sort of a taxi system. And when we see Pokemon that are used in the overworld for something like that, they don't tend to be the regional bird. The regional bird usually just kind of stands on its own as the regional bird, and that's what it does. That's its function. But being that Corviknight is sort of this taxi system, it has a different function that maybe, you know, our Staraptors and our Pidgeots and our Talonflames don't have. I think that could be really interesting. But another thing to talk about is this G in front of each of these names. And it just so happens that with Corviknight, Alcremie, and Dreadnought, we see these G's in front of the name. A lot of people are saying that those are the Pokemon that can Gigantamax. Does that mean that Yamper, Roly-Poly, Wooloo, Morpeko, and Polteageist can't Gigantamax? I think that there's a theory that says that's true. I wonder how widespread the Gigantamax theme will be. How many Pokemon will get a Gigantamax form? Will it be just a handful? Will it be like Mega Evolutions where there's 40 or 50 of them? And then we come down here to probably the most shocking thing in this leak, for me at least, is that Duraludon doesn't have a number at the end of its name. And it also doesn't have a G at the beginning. So what this is suggesting is that Duraludon doesn't have a Gigantamax form, and it doesn't have any pre-evolutions. The moment that I saw Duraludon, I thought it was the pseudo-legendary for this generation. And then when they released the information that it was going to be a sort of rival to Tyranitar, I thought that was the end of the speculation. I thought they had basically confirmed it as the pseudo-legendary. But this bit of information sort of combats that theory. Pseudo-legendaries are all 3-stage evolutions. I was a little bit disappointed that the next pseudo-legendary was going to be another dragon type. One of my favorite things about like Metagross is that it's a pseudo-legendary that's not a dragon type. And I would be lying if I said I wasn't a little bit excited that we have the possibility of getting a different pseudo-legendary in this generation. I think this opens the door for more possibilities, and more possibilities are always great. These are the important questions that I think are going to be fun to speculate over in the next few months. This is my favorite time right before a Pokemon game comes out, with tons of speculation. I like how Game Freak is keeping this sort of quiet and letting us guess as opposed to telling us everything. I'm not a big fan of rumors and fake leaks. Like they did with the Sirfetch'd reveal, I like it when they sort of tease information and then tell us about it later. It allows us to speculate and have a lot of fun with that. So that about does it for this little bit of information that we got yesterday. It's so infuriating in some ways to not have more information to go off of, but in other ways, like I said, it's really exciting, and I'm really enjoying this particular hype season. Once we got Dexit out of the way, once everyone stopped being all butthurt about Dexit, now we can get excited about these games, and I'm here for it. If you're also here for it, don't forget to subscribe down below. Let me know what in this information sort of surprised you. Like I said, Duraludon is the big surprise for me. I definitely thought that it was going to be our pseudo-legendary, but just let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Subscribe, like the video, and as always, my friends, see you next time.